Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new series that I'm doing with some very, very lovely people, The Legacy of the Rimlen, a tabletop campaign set in a homebrew universe which is heavily modeled by 17th century history. Now, before we go into the details of the lore, etc., and see what's going on specifically, I very much like to ask these lovely people to introduce themselves briefly and talk about their characters a little bit. Now, I wrote some dice in the background, and the dice have decided that the lovely Show&Tell should go introduce herself and her character for a little bit. Can you please go ahead?
Oh, I'm first. Sorry. Hi.
Sorry, I thought I told you.
I thought you said the deli was first.
Right, I think he was. My bad. I'm dumb.
That's fine. So I'm Judy. I have a channel on YouTube, and I react to anime and other shows, mostly. And my character's name is, I actually don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Anghel.
You said it right.
I looked it up.
You said it right.
Yeah. Okay. He's from Rima, people. I don't know what to call it. And he's a peasant who's just had his house. Or maybe I should keep that
you can.
Maybe I should introduce it during the game.
Say as much or as little as you'd like. I will mention that the people, like the non-playable characters in our story, do know what happened to you because you're a local. The other players don't know, and it's up to you if you want to reveal that or not.
Okay, so I mean,
well, it's also in your aspects, which I guess they do have access to.
Oh, okay. Well, in any case, so he just went through a very bad day. I mean, soldiers basically went into his house and killed his family and kidnapped his sister, and now he survived because he's really strong, and he just fought Nelly Teeth and Nelly Tooth, I don't know, and just and just managed to escape with his life, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll definitely get to delve into that. Anything else before we move on?
That's it, I think.
Okay. Thank you very much. And next, very sorry about the mix-up. Deli, can you please go ahead?
Hello, everyone. My name is Deli. I'm a Goblin VTuber on Twitch and voice actor and content creator. You can find me on, like I said, Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok. And my character, their name is Muninn, derived from Norse mythology, Muninn and Hugin, which are Odin's ravens, and which is relevant because that's sort of that's where I've taken inspiration when coming up with this character. They're a keeper of secrets and a seeker of knowledge, and they dress with sort of dark, sort of lightweight clothes and cloaks and stuff like that. And they're very they sort of keep to themselves, but they're also, but when they sort of want to, they're very good at sort of getting information out of people, I suppose, without, I guess, them realizing it. But yeah.
Yeah. You and Show&Tell's character have the highest careful stat, which is the stat for noticing people, listening into surroundings, etc., etc. Anything else before we go to Ashen's character?
I don't think so. I believe that covers pretty much everything I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Deli. That was my phone buzzing, sorry. Next, I'd very much like to have Ashen talk a little bit about herself and about her character, and you can see on screen some very lovely character art that she drew.
Sure thing. Hi, I'm Ash. I'm gonna be playing as my lovely character Illona. She's an exiled Tivian noblewoman, so she has a bit of back history and is pretty not wanted anywhere right now. She has a bounty on her head. Although she is very good at escaping and has a lot of like knowledge up her sleeve, so she's very clever. Yeah.
Yep. And we'll see in detail what draws these characters together. Now, the story takes place, as I mentioned, in a modified, like very well, heavily modified 17th century Eastern Europe. There's a big green empire, which is the crappiest way of introducing it, but the Caramel Empire, heavily modeled after the real-world Ottoman Empire. The story is that they have just gone to war and conquered a portion of the Big Red Empire's territory, the Commonwealth of Zemilechia. And the war is now over, the soldiers are going home, and they're just happening to pass through a small village over here, which is where our characters also find themselves. And I imagine where the soldiers in Anghel's character backstory came from. Looting happened even in friendly territories. The village is in a principality known as Bogdania, a vassal principality of the Caramel Empire. And they also participated in the war, and their own men have now returned home. It is at this point late summer, and the autumn harvest is rapidly approaching. We find ourselves once again in the village of Ampho, which is situated on an important trade route that links the Caramel Empire to Zemilechia, and the village where we will start. Now, we will start in a very typical Dungeons and Dragons setting, as in these lovely people will meet in a tavern. I would propose, lovely people, that you all enter the tavern one at a time, unless you'd like to know each other previously, but I think it would be more organic to meet each other that way. How does that sound?
Sure thing. Tavern sounds good.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
Do you have a preference of in which order you all shall enter the tavern, or I can roll some dice? You let me know.
I don't mind going last if that's cool.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Sure.
Okay. You're going in show and tell?
What? No, we said ladies first.
I know.
I'm not a lady.
I know.
I'm just not a lady.
Okay. So, Ashen, do you volunteer or?
I volunteer as tribute. I can do it.
Okay. So, the very general setting is, again, the army has just finished leaving the village that you can see on the map on screen. And I'll mention that it's likely raining outside, which is probably like what forced you to go into the tavern. Now, tavern isn't really the right word. It's more like a slightly wealthier peasant's house that they also use as a makeshift tavern. It's actually kind of crap. So, Ashen, Illona, as you like open the door to the tavern, it doesn't even have a sign. You've probably had a very rough time in this forsaken country. You're a foreigner, and have you been like traveling along the main roads or like sticking to off roads? What do you think?
I think I've been like going through the forest, like as off roads as possible.
Okay, then you, at several points, you definitely would have seen bandits preparing to ambush people on the road. Security is very lax, especially in times of war. Would you have been coming, by the way, from the north or the south?
From the south, I think.
Okay, so you've been through the Caramel Empire, and for some reason you're traveling north. Okay. As you enter the tavern, you'll see several people and tables, which I will put on screen. First off, you'll see what appears to be a bartender. Do you see her little icon on screen on the map?
I do.
Okay. Then there are 3 people sitting at a table, which I will put on screen. The art I'm using is either from like Pathfinder, which is like another Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, or it's like historical artwork. And so there's 3 people sitting at a table there. There's another table with 2 people sitting down, which I'm also putting on screen. And there's another table with 2 more people sitting down, and there's also an empty table. What do you do?
Okay.
Just like to describe how everyone would react to this mysterious lady entering, like the non-playable characters. The bartender would probably like beckon you with her hand. The people on the left would probably not notice you. The people in the middle would like notice you and then continue like whispering to each other. And the people on the right are loudly gambling.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might just sit at the lone table. Go there.
As you sit down, you see the bartender. Do you speak the local language?
I don't know, do I?
I think you're definitely a clever person, but this land is a crap hole. I don't know if you would have bothered to learn the language.
Maybe I can understand a bit, but I have a like really crappy accent myself.
Okay.
Like can barely speak.
Then this woman is the bartender is saying, "Oi, are you blind? Come here."
I shrug her off.
Okay. She pounds her fist on the table and says, "Oi, if you don't come here, I can't serve you."
I relentlessly like grunt my way up there. I don't really want to, but I guess I do it.
Oh, right, I forgot one thing to do. You will begin hearing some background sound. Let me know if it's like too quiet or too loud. It's just general tavern ambience.
Alright. I don't really hear anything right now.
Okay. How's this?
Oh, perfect. Cool.
Okay. It's very subtle and anyway. Okay. So you walk to the quote unquote bartender. It clearly looks like a local woman with like what's a blushing face, but not like a shy blushing face, but like the redness of like I just yelled at someone.
Okay.
And saying, "So what would it be?"
I'll just have a beer. I don't like want to make a big scene. I don't want her to yell at me. I just want like a simple beer.
We have cornmeal, we have water, we have wine.
I guess I'll take wine then.
She grunts, and you see her coughing very loudly and violently, and turns around and begins rummaging through like her back store, so to say, looking for some wine to pour you. Eventually, and feel free to stop me at any point if you want to do anything, she would like pull out a very dirty looking tankard and a very old-looking bottle. Old not as in the wine is aged, but old as in old. And starts pouring. And says, and she will say, 10 courage, which is the currency of the Caramel Empire.
Is that a lot?
More than it's not like an absurd amount, but it's like airport prices, if that makes sense.
I guess I'll just pay for it. I don't necessarily want to drink it, but I don't want to like be a hassle for her.
She pours it to the top and spills a little and coughs once again, not caring that she's coughing into your wine, and like extends her hand. You paid her, correct?
I did.
Okay, and says, "Have a seat then."
As I like go to sit, I just mumble like this service is crap.
Do you sit alone?
Yep.
Okay, you will actually see the three people on the right. Well, the one foremost to the right, he like beckons you to come there and come join them.
I just shake my head, like I don't wanna. I'm not interested.
Okay, you've seen them like gambling before. The man like scoffs at you, but says nothing more and continues to gamble with his friends. Now, before like the next of our player characters would join us rather, would you be saying or doing anything, or would you just like be quietly enjoying is not the right term, but nursing your drink?
Yeah, I guess I'll just like sit there with my face in my hands. Just I've had a rough day.
Yeah, understandable. So, if we're going by the order we talked about, we can change this if you'd like. Show and tell. Anghel would now be entering the tavern. He is obviously a local, and you know these people. Yeah, you enter the tavern. You see the people that you see. I will mention that, like, since you're a local, you know the bartender, you know the people on the right, and you know this woman.
Okay.
Would you like me to like tell you who they are, or would you like come to your own decision?
I kind of had this thought that, I mean, I don't know that I read about the Rima that they're superstitious and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
well, it's seen as superstitious, but yeah.
Yeah, and Anghel like doesn't talk and stuff, so I kind of had this feeling like he's not like people are just kind of, I don't know, like they think he's kind of strange.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, at least you're mute and not left-handed. If you were left-handed, that would be not a good sign.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, can you tell me about them?
Yeah, sure. So, the bartender runs a local farm with her husband and children, and she just happened to like own like a better piece of land who has like better yields, and that's why she can afford to make a bigger house that she has also turned into this makeshift inn for like travelers, since this village is on a trade route. Of the three people you see gambling, you know the woman is a notorious cheater, and she will often invite travelers to come and gamble because she will rob them of their money. The guy to the bottom right on the gambling table is, I would say, a close friend of your father's, but he also has a big gambling problem. And the other guy on the table is the leader of the local bandits.
Oh, okay.
As to... sorry, there was one other character that you know. The old woman at the middle table. You know her as the local witch doctor.
Oh, okay.
She very much hates the like local priest, and the local priest hates her. But like you've gone, well, probably not you, but your family has gone to her for like, hey, I need you to like curse someone, or I need like a cure for this disease or whatever.
Okay.
And of course, you see the stranger Illona sitting at her own table.
Right. So now I need to choose where I sit.
Well, as usual, the bartender lady would like beckon you to come closer, and you're free to do whatever you'd like, of course.
And if I have no money?
Well, she doesn't know that. She doesn't know that.
Right. But, I just came in from the rain. Like, I mean, obviously he has no house anymore. Okay.
Is it fair to say that maybe you're like hesitant, your character rather is hesitant in this moment, like unsure if he should like approach the lady?
For sure, yeah.
Then you will actually see like your father's friend over here on the right. And by the way, if any of you need to like ping, you can hold down the left mouse button. He would like beckon you to join, and he'll tell the bartender, "It's all right, Maria. He's on me."
Oh, sorry, you cut out.
He basically says, "It's all right. I'll pay for him."
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll go sit with him.
Okay. The bartender will say, "Oi, what will you have?" You know the lackluster local menu of cornmeal, water, or wine.
Water, I guess.
How do you say that it's water?
What?
Isn't your character someone who doesn't really talk?
Oh, right. I didn't think about that.
The bartender will like shake her head, remembering like who she's talking with, and she'll like point 3 fingers and say, "Water, wine, cornmeal," and like indicating that you should put up the respective finger for what you want.
Right. So I choose water.
Okay. She nods, and you see her coughing violently. She wasn't coughing like the last time you talked with her. And she proceeds to go procure some water. Do you then sit down at the table with the gentleman that you know?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. He brings up another seat from another table to make room for you, and he says, "Anghel, very sorry about your loss. How are you, my boy?"
Well, I can't really talk. I just look at him.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's just.
And he doesn't like expect you to talk. Rather,
Yeah.
you've kind of like established like some like gestures or like expressions that like convey what's going on. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I look down, kind of. I mean, obviously, you can see from. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like grabbing you by the shoulder. He's one of my. You know what gesture I'm referring to?
What? Sorry.
He's like grabbing you by the shoulder, like to say he's with me to like the other people at the table. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And he'll tell the other man here, say, "Poor Anghel here lost his family. Have you and your friends seen anyone on the road that might look like him?" He's asking this of like the person that you know is the local bandit leader. And he shakes his head no, and continues throwing the dice as if you're not even there.
Nice.
He will like continue like clasping your shoulder and then let go and say, Anghel, you know the autumn harvest is coming. Have you considered what you're going to do with your family's land now?
No. I mean, honestly, I need to think about it.
So you shake your head no?
Yeah, I guess.
He says, well, with your family gone, someone needs to pick up the harvest. I mean, the tax collectors won't sit idly. You know, you can sell it to me and I'll give you a good price. Lost your family like a few days ago, so it's kind of insensitive.
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe. I'll shake my head again. I'll figure it out.
He'll sigh and say, you know the harvest is coming. You should think about these things. How else are you going to survive?
Yeah, I'm kind of ignoring his eyes. Ignoring eye contact.
The lady at the table will then say, "Oh, leave him alone, Dan. He can survive with me. You know how to play dice, kid?"
But I don't have any money. I'm trying to think if I should.
Right. Well, she was actually going to ask that. After seeing like you hesitate, she will ask, "Right? Do you have any money?"
Nope.
She sighed. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just shake my head.
She sighs, like shakes her head, like as if you have personally wronged her in some way, and like returns to playing dice with the local bandit leader. And she, at this point, your father's friend will like say, "Looks like your drink's ready," pointing at the bar.
Okay. Then I go over and take it.
The bartender is once again coughing violently, not caring at all that she's coughing onto your water. And she says, "Dan will pick it up, right? Your tab."
I nod.
Don't know what good you're for, but hey, if you want, you can consider selling your family's land to me. I'd give you a good price too.
Okay.
You now have your water, well, your dirty water. What do you do?
A good question.
You see, like the three people who you were just talking with, are now like talking amongst themselves, not really paying attention to you. So hypothetically, you could just like leave and nobody would notice.
Yeah, I think about leaving.
It's raining outside though, for plot's sake.
Yeah, no, I mean not like sitting with them.
Right.
Like I kind of want to sit with Illona, but I don't know if that will make sense.
I mean, again, there's the three people that you know. The two people on the right you do not know, they're foreigners. And of the people in the middle, one of them's like the local witch doctor, which maybe like scares you a little, and the other one is also a foreigner. But Illona is like sitting alone. She probably looks like, yeah, she sits alone. She probably looks like she probably wouldn't mind your company, I guess. It's entirely up to you though.
Yeah, okay, I think I'll head over.
Illona, you see this tall young man approaching you. Unless you are trying to do this more stealthily, let me know. As in,
yeah, can I like can I like try to determine if he's like a threat to me? Will he know who I am and stuff?
Yes. If this were like an NPC, I would ask you to roll your careful. By the way, all of you, well, actually, except Deli, I need to make a macro for him. But all of you should have like buttons at either the top of the or the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
With your stats. If you press them, feel free to like give them a test run. Deli, I'll make your macros after today's session. If you need to roll, I'll roll manually for you. Okay?
Will do.
Okay. So if Anghel, if Show&Tell's character was an NPC, I would ask you to roll careful. However, since she's playing a player character, she can say if she's like trying to hide anything or what her intentions are, and she can say as much or as little as she'd like.
Okay.
I guess I'd just be asking, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? Okay. So I guess I just kind of try to show that I don't speak, I guess. I kind of, and I guess kind of shrug, lift my hands to show that I'm not threatening, like not a threat or something.
Mm-hmm. I think I would just like shake my head, like it doesn't matter if you sit here or not. I can see that you don't know who I am. I don't really want to make a scene out of anything, so it's fine.
Okay. Great. So I take a seat.
You take a seat.
I guess I ask, are you from here?
I nod.
Okay. It's like I imagine it to be like this awkward silence where she's like trying to figure out how to make a conversation with someone who doesn't talk.
Totally.
Probably. I'll mention, Ashen, you mentioned that your character came from the south. For reference's sake, the soldiers came from the north, okay?
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Do let me know when, like, you guys would like to have Deli's character step into the scene as well.
Poor Deli, I feel like he's waiting a long time.
Let's go, Deli. Let's go. Save us from the awkward silence.
Okay.
I walk in.
Okay, Deli. You're walking in. You, like with Illona, you've probably had a very bad time because this country is a shithole. Just out of curiosity, would you have come from like the north or the south or some other path?
Probably from the south.
Okay, duly noted. Yeah, you see, you're obviously not a local. You're not a local, right?
No.
Okay, then you see these people sitting at a table. None of them look familiar to you. The person who clearly seems to be the bar woman motions for you to come to the table.
Yeah, I'd sort of walk over.
Do you speak the local language? Okay, so she coughs very violently and asks, "What will you have?"
I'll ask her if she has any, just any like water, I suppose.
Yeah, we got water. We got water, wine, or cornmeal.
I'll ask her, what is cornmeal?
She looks at you like you just asked, like, what is water or what is the sky? And she might say, stupid or something? Cornmeal's cornmeal. It's ground corn boiled.
Right, I'll ask for one of those.
She's not a nice person.
No.
You're asking for cornmeal? Okay. So she will like step to like her back to like get you the water. For the cornmeal, she will say, that she has to go. What's the word? To the other room to get it, and she says 100 courage, which is again the caramel currency.
Ooh. Could I barter for her to like put the price down a little bit? It seems a bit steep.
Sure, and actually this will be a very good time to we'll actually have like a sort of improvised combat at this point. You won't be like physically fighting her, but you'll be negotiating with her. And in the game system that we're using, negotiation is, well, not negotiation, but rather combat can be either physical or like mental talking. So your careful is 3, her careful is a 2. Now, you go first because you have a higher careful, which is the stat we determine, like the order. So, for this like combat, quote unquote, your objective would be either to like make her surrender or to like deplete all of her quote unquote hit points, which again isn't the right term, but I mean the stress and the consequences. So. She says 100 courage. What's your reply? And would you like to treat this as, say... Well, actually, what's your reply?
I wanna sort of try and barter with her and make it take the price down to 70.
So you say 70 courage?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like a forceful approach. Like you're saying, no, I won't pay 100, I'll pay 70. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what would happen now? You have pretty much 2 options. You can either say this is your quote-unquote attack, and you're making a forceful attack, or you can say that you're trying to like create an advantage that you can use later. Creating an advantage is basically making like a temporary aspect that will give you a bonus to your rolls in the future. To sum it up, we'll go into more detail. Which would you prefer? A direct attack or like you powering up, so to say?
We'll try powering up, I suppose. See what that's about.
So I will roll forceful because you don't have your macros set up.
Okay.
I rolled and you got a 1. I was going to give you a difficulty of 2 for this. So what happens is you don't manage to make that like power up.
Okay.
She looks at you like you just said like something again incredibly stupid, and she asks you, where the hell do you think we are? And this is her own forceful attack against you. How would you defend yourself against her like forceful attack?
I could sort of. I'm not quite sure what my options are, in all honesty. But like,
treat this completely from a narrative point of view, as in,
right.
She said, "Where the hell do you think we are?" In response to like you saying 70.
Okay.
What does Muninn do in character to respond to this?
Muninn would probably sort of mention about how the tavern and the actual quality of goods and service is nowhere near like, or it doesn't seem as it doesn't sort of meet the standard to make it that expensive. So how about we sort of like be realistic, sort of thing?
Yeah. That sounds to me like you're defending yourself from her attack, either carefully, which is like noticing your surroundings, or cleverly, aka pointing out like an intelligent argument. Which would you prefer? You have a higher careful, so you might you might want to like use meta knowledge, but you can also just say clever for flavor's sake. It's entirely up to you.
I think I'd probably go with I think I'd probably go with careful, just because it has a higher like base thing.
Yeah. Let's see. You succeed. You like quote unquote successfully defended yourself from her attack. It is now your turn to like make an attack or like create an advantage. You also, just like for completeness sake, you also have the option of, again, attacking, powering up, quote unquote, or like inspecting her to find out her aspects, which then you would provide you with an advantage. Make sense?
Yeah. Could I do that? Could I do the inspection thing?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which this will be a careful roll. I will say that it is that you will need a 2 to get like her high concept, a 4 to get her trouble, and a 4 to get her tertiary aspect. So let's roll to see what you get. A 4. So I give you the choice. Would you like to learn her high concept, her trouble, or her tertiary?
I suppose would her trouble be? I suppose learning her trouble would be something to, like attack. I suppose like you like finding someone's weakness and then exploiting it.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Once you find like a person's aspect, you can use that aspect either to improve your own roles if you can justify it, as in like say her trouble forces her to like reconsider her argument or whatever, or you can use it to compel that aspect, as in because you have this aspect you do this, etc., with your fate points. So you're choosing her trouble.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, her trouble, and I'm going to write this on screen. Bartender. Her trouble is a suspicious, unnatural cough, which is pretty obvious, I suppose. But what you do notice is that she's like the only sick person here, and like epidemics are like nothing new. But it's very weird that she's the only one who is sick.
Okay.
And
so
once you have this, you can use it to improve your rolls if need be, basically as if you were invoking your own aspects, only you don't have to spend fate points on this. Make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Her turn will come up next. Did you have like a question?
If it's her turn next, then in which case, no.
Okay. She will scoff at you and say, "Oh, you wealthy foreigners taking advantage of us, Rima. Don't you have some mercy, some heart in your shriveled old body of yours?" Which will be a flashy attack against you. How would you defend yourself against her flashy attack?
I could sort of remark and say you don't really know anything about me, so like I wouldn't try and call me like a wealthy commoner sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Then I think that sounds like a flashy or a clever defense. What do you think?
I'd probably go with clever, because hang on, wait, let me double check my.
You have a clever of 2 and a flashy of 1.
Yeah, definitely a clever in that case.
Okay, I will roll for you. You have to take 1 point of damage because you rolled a 1. So,
okay.
At this point, you have again your 1 stress, 2 stress, 3 stress, and your consequences. I would recommend that you take your level 1 stress, because you took 1 damage, your level 1 stress will cover 1 damage. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. For some reason, her argument like gets to you, like it like gets under your skin a little bit. Now, before your turn, I will say that this argument is very visible to like everyone in the room. The other NPCs won't like join in, but the other player characters also have the option of joining in if they'd like.
Okay. I think I'll stick to the back still.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, it's your turn, Deli.
So obviously with the suspicious cough, could I bring that up and see like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if like because it's not exactly healthy for a bartender to have like an illness, and they're the only one in the room with an illness. So I could sort of bring it up and be like,
You can bring it up, but I will say that you are bringing it up like from the narrative point of view. This will not like affect game mechanics. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, it's your quote-unquote turn. What do you say or do?
I could sort of threaten to be like, it's 70 or I'm not, or like, you know, you don't have business, I'm not paying like any higher than 70. Either I pay it or I don't have it, sort of thing.
Okay. That sounds like a forceful attack to me, like you're once again repeating your ultimatum that I'm only paying 70. Which, by the way, 70 is also a pretty high price for this. Okay. Do you agree with this, or would you like to like change your approach?
I'll do that, but I'll change it to like 50 in that case.
Okay.
Like, I'll be like, screw 70, like, I'm only paying 50 now, for example.
Okay, now you're being really forceful. You're like even more doubling down. Okay. So I will roll your forceful attack. It's an attack, right? Not like powering up. Let me know.
Right, yeah, no, that's correct.
Okay. -2. Okay. She's going to defend herself by probably smacking you in the face.
Okay.
With a 5-point difference. Now what happens when like the defendant succeeds by like this massive difference is that the defendant gets an advantage. So in this case, the bartender will gain an advantage against you. I think I will call this advantage 100 or nothing. This advantage basically is something that she can use against you to improve her rolls. It doesn't actually like damage you. She only slapped you for like narrative sake. But yeah. Everyone sees the bartender violently slap this person.
I have a question.
Yes?
Since I'm very sneaky, and I see that the bartender is massively distracted by this argument, can I by any chance sneak back and get the money I paid for the wine plus extra maybe?
Of course you can, but let's do that on your turn.
Sure.
We'll continue with like the careful order, as in Muninn will go first, or rather Muninn or Anghel if Anghel wants to get involved as well. Then Illona, and then the bartender. Okay. So, Muninn and or Anghel if Anghel wants to get involved. What do you do?
Well, I wonder if I should like.
You do see like the bartender violently slap this person.
Yeah, and I don't like that. But I wonder if like I have it in me to like if Anghel has it in him to like try to, you know, stop them from fighting or something. I don't know.
Stay true to your character. You don't have to like join in just because like it's another player character. Stay true to your character.
Yeah, I'm thinking like on the one hand, I mean he doesn't like fighting and stuff. I think it makes him like anxious, but maybe he doesn't do anything.
Okay. Muninn, this person just slapped you.
I don't think ultimately I'm not going to physically retaliate. but
I will say, with combat, you obviously have the option of continuing, or you have the option of surrendering. And surrendering is better than like being knocked out. You get like to dictate like some of the terms, quote unquote.
okay.
But it's entirely up to you.
Could I? So I'm considering just being like, oh, forget about it, and just like I don't end up buying anything. Would that count as a surrender?
It could. But it's entirely up to you. I'm just letting you know that you have that option.
Okay. In which case, yeah, I'll. Like I said, I'll just be like, I'll forget about it, and I'll like sort of take my coin, like, like put my coin back in my in my pocket, I guess.
You're surrendering then.
Yeah.
Well, again, surrender in terms of game mechanics means that the opponent would quote unquote win, but that you dictate some of the terms. And I think the opponent would, aka this bartender, would like scoop up some of your coins. Do you agree to this? You the player, not you the character.
I would. I mean, I'd prefer if that didn't happen.
Right,
but then
you're losing at the moment is the thing.
Right, yeah. So in which case, in which case I'll just sort of let it happen, I guess.
Okay. So, how many coins did you put down? She asked for 100. You offered 70. How many did you put down?
I suppose I put like 70 on the table initially, and then took 20 away because when I said, it's 50 now.
Yeah. Then I'm going to roll some dice, a d50, to see how many coins she took.
Okay.
1 coin.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Decent.
A nice lady.
That was so unlucky. Okay. So combat is over. Your stress goes away at this point, as does her advantage. But you do still know her trouble aspect, and you can use that later if you'd like. And also, because you surrendered, you get an extra fate point. It's basically the game's way of saying, I'll come back next time.
So I can add 1 to the character sheet.
Yeah, I also track it on screen. You don't need to worry.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, you gather your coins. Maybe you notice that 1 is missing. Who knows? The bartender still has like a very offensive look on her, but before she can do anything, she has like another violent episode of coughing. What do you do? And actually, this question of what do you do also applies to the other player characters, because I know Illona wanted to do something.
Yeah, I really wanna get my money back.
Well, I leave it entirely up to the two of you, because we're not like in combat at this moment. Would you like? Which one of you would like to like quote unquote go first, etc.?
I don't mind. You can sort of go first, I guess. I mean, I think my turn was probably the longest out of everyone. So.
Like, I have a question. Is she still like distracted from the argument, or is she like?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Sure. Can I go?
So you like stealthily walk out of your chair and try to grab your coin from behind the bar.
Can I try to grab like the 1 coin that she stole from Deli as well?
I mean, that's in her pocket.
Okay. Shit.
Okay. So what I'd like you to ask, Illona, is to roll sneaky. You should have a button at the bottom of your screen that says sneaky.
Bottom of my screen. I don't see that.
Or either bottom or top. I'm not exactly sure where it goes for the players.
I'll just try to sneak it, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work. I don't see it. No.
Give me a moment. Then, while I go into the thing. Does it work now? Has it shown up now?
Not for me. Do you guys see it?
Give me
What is it?
Like buttons with sneaky and stuff.
I don't see any.
Well, Deli doesn't
Yeah.
have his yet. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's odd. Okay. Well, you should have access to it, but I will. Here, I rolled with the macro for you. You got a critical fail, which I presume you don't want to use as your actual roll.
No. No, but
Can you maybe try refreshing? Maybe that will make the macros show up. I did like change one setting.
I'll try. Okay.
Okay. But while like this happens, Anghel, you would be paying attention to like the confrontation, not necessarily to what like your fellow bar person would be doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have like the buttons that I mentioned? Either go.
What is it supposed to look like? Like
It's
it just
a little gray button that should say, for Ashen it should say Illona careful, Illona sneaky. For you it should say Anghel careful, Anghel sneaky, etc.
I don't see it. No.
Okay. Ashen, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back,
Do
but
you
I don't.
see? Okay. That is weird. Okay. Would you like me to roll for you, I guess, until we figure it out probably for next session?
That works.
Okay. So I will re-roll that sneaky just
Thank you.
because I will allow it. Sure. Let's test it out.
Hell yeah. Way better.
Remind me, Anghel, so are you paying attention to what Illona is doing or not?
I think I definitely noticed her like rising and stuff.
Well, just okay, sure. I agree. So I'm going to also roll the bartender's careful to see if she will notice you doing that, and she does not. Okay.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay. Anghel, you clearly see like Illona stealthily walking away from the table and going to the bar if you're like following her with your gaze, and you see her like reach behind and like grab something.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, all the NPCs are like focused on the conflict between the bartender and Muninn. They aren't paying attention to you guys.
Okay. Can I like roll for how much I get?
Yeah, let me think. You paid 10. Okay, I'm going to roll a D90.
Right. Oh, hell yeah.
Now, 79 coins will jingle a lot. How many do you actually take, I guess? You have the option of taking all of them, but it might have consequences.
But I'm so sneaky.
You're free to try if you'd like.
If I take 50 of them.
Okay, then I'm going to roll in another careful of the bartender lady, because they will jingle. She still does not notice. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
you now have 50 of the coins.
Woo!
Good for
Can I
you.
work with the table?
Would Anghel see this? You will definitely see like Illona reaching behind the bar and grabbing the coins, which are a lot. They will probably be hard to immediately conceal, but I imagine Illona would hide them at one point.
Yeah.
So what do you all do at this point? Asking all of the player characters.
I want to give Deli 1 coin.
Okay. Muninn, you see this young lady walk up to you and offer you 1 coin. I presume you weren't like paying attention necessarily to see like the robbery.
Do I like just have scoops of coin in my hand? Like, take 1.
Well, I'd happily accept it if that's all right.
The bartender looks at you and says, "Oh, if you have that, why didn't you buy something more? Want some cornmeal?"
I'd sort of
As she violently
sort of
coughs again.
yeah, I'd decline, but I'd sort
She's
of
not
like
asking you.
oh right, sorry.
I'll just frown at her. Make a face.
She will spit on the ground and like return to her work
Yes.
and mumble under her breath.
Okay, I think I'll go back to sit by the table now, and I try to like conceal them better.
I presume everyone in the bar just saw that.
Oh no! I thought they were caught up in the fight.
I mean, you just approach one of the people in the fight
Yeah.
and offer them a coin while you're holding all the other coins in your hand. I don't know.
Can I like give half to Show&Tell? Be like even out. I can see that he has had a bad day, and I don't necessarily want to be like the target of having so much money.
Okay.
I'll just
So I'm just imagining like in the middle of like this almost bar fight, like a random person with a stack of coins in their hand offers up 1 coin to one person in the fight, then still the coins in hand returns to the table while everyone in the bar is looking at them, puts it on the ground and splits it in half and offers half to the other person on the table.
so awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I guess I'll be. I mean.
Everyone is staring us.
Yes, I think I'll be very shocked and not really know what to do with that. Like, I mean, money isn't bad to have, but I don't know. Like, everybody's watching us right now.
You see the old woman who Anghel will know is the local witch doctor. She would yell out at Illona, say, "Oi, half of that and I'll give you a good fortune telling."
I just frown again. Make a face.
You definitely, Anghel, you would definitely see like this guy, the leader of the local bandits, be very, very interested. But he continues sipping his drink.
Oh man, I don't want to. Yeah, I've had enough trouble to last me a lifetime.
Well, when I say local bandits, I mean like he robs people on the road, but he usually like leaves the village alone. Usually, I mean that's why he's in the bar at the moment.
Yeah, it will make sense.
And it's just 50. Like the cornmeal cost 100. Half cornmeal.
I'll give you a small spoiler. The cornmeal costs as much as the bartender lady thinks it costs. Muninn also sees this happening.
I mean, I don't know. Should I take the money? Like, I know it's stolen, and I know. I mean, I don't know how much I care about that. But
It's entirely up to you. I will say, like, to inform your character's decision. If your plan is to like ransom someone, I don't know, you might need money, but if your character like has a conscience of, oh no, this money's stolen, I cannot have it, again, up to you. If you just like, again, there's lots of like little things that might motivate you to either take it or not take it. Either choice is fine. There is no wrong answer here. Just stick true to what do you think your character would do.
Oh wait, the fact that the leader of the bandits took notice means that he's planning something against Illona, because she's not a local.
Probably.
Shit.
Well, I do feel like I'll have he's the kind of person who has a conscience.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess I won't take it.
Okay. Ilona?
So
Just like scoop it back up from the table.
The local bandit leader like loudly whistles and like continues drinking.
Okay.
Whistles not in the sense of like a cat call or whatever, but rather in the sense of like a wow whistle, if that makes sense.
Right.
As in, look, there's someone that's loaded. But yeah. What's Muninn doing at this point? I'm curious.
So Muninn has just sort of been like, I suppose, watching everything unfold, but there is sort of perked up at when they heard someone was giving fortune telling.
Mm-hmm.
So are they sort of still present, I suppose?
Oh yeah, they're at the table. You will see it's this lady right here.
Okay. Would I be able to sort of go over and talk to them?
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Okay. You walk over to this table. The two women who are sitting there look at you sort of startled. Because they were like watching the Illona and Anghel with the like stack of coins, and they did not expect someone to sit down. The woman on the right, so not the fortune teller, will say, "Who are you?"
That is, I'd sort of say like, I overheard someone's telling fortunes, so maybe you should tell me who I am.
She snorts, and the woman on the left, the quote-unquote fortune teller, will say, "Oh yes, yes, dear, come here. What's your name?"
I just say my name's Muninn.
Good name, good name. Yes. So how much you paying?
What's the price?
She like looks at you and extends a hand. She's expecting you. She says, "Give me your hand."
Okay, I'll give my hand to her.
She says, after she inspects the hand and says, 50 courage, and I'll throw a pox on you.
A pox. I will, just out of like curiosity, like that's obviously just like a that seems to me like a threat and not like she'll actually sort of thing.
Well, it is a threat, obviously, as in if she'll actually do it, you don't necessarily know.
Right.
The local people are very superstitious, and she seems like she's serious. So she probably like genuinely believes that, oh yeah, I'll pox you. As in whether that actually means she will pox you, hard to say. You've heard like maybe legends of like local witches that have magical powers, but you don't know if this person... Go ahead.
Could I sort of ask and say like, oh, prove it, like sort of thing?
She motions with her head pointing at the bartender. She says, That one scolded me to the local priest, said that I poxed her children. I didn't pox her children, but I poxed her for the slander.
Although Muninn doesn't necessarily believe that this person can pox them, I think Munin's had enough of bartering for today. So
She is holding onto your hand.
and yeah, so would I just accept the service charge, as it were?
You also have the option to do pretty much the same thing that you did with the bartender, aka do a careful check to see, to look for her aspects, which might provide you with more information.
Okay. Would I be able to do a careful check to see her main aspect?
Yeah, I think I will roll for you in a in a bit. I'm just thinking on the difficulty.
Okay.
Okay, it will be a difficulty 2 to learn her high concept, a 4 to learn her trouble, and a 4 to learn her tertiary. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see what you get. Got a 3, so you will be able to learn her high concept only. Which is, let me type it on screen. She is a local Rima witch.
Oh shit.
For our viewers, Rima means, Rima are like the local ethnic people. Which I'll just call it. Now, I will say, just because she is like a witch doesn't necessarily mean that she has power. Just that she is a witch and is recognized as such. Make sense?
Okay. That makes sense. In which case, I will, like I said, I'll probably just accept. I'll give them the 50. Was it 50?
50, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just give them 50.
She takes it, and she takes it gladly, and says, and now like, still holding onto your hand, starts like looking at it and tracing the lines, and like mumbles to herself. And the other woman at the table will say, you won't regret this. She's helped me out a lot. And as the witch is like doing a reading, she says, I see great fortune will befall you, but also you will be you will encounter great danger that will force you to make a drastic change.
Okay. Is that all? Is that more or less all she has to say?
She's still like looking into your palm, trying to discern, and then she like looks at you with like a confused expression and says, now who in the devil are you? You're a very weird man.
Again, it's sort of like I'll like sort of like smile and be like, you're the one that is supposed to like find that out, I guess, if you have the power to. You know what I mean?
I know. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I'll just say I'm Muninn. I am a traveler. I am a seeker of knowledge, as it were. I am like knowledge sort of is my currency.
She still holds onto your hand, but the other woman at the table like scoffs and says, so you're a good for nothing nobody, is it? You're just someone who subsists off of everyone else's hard work.
Although sort of Moon disagrees with that statement, I don't think they'll sort of like they don't have anything to prove, so they'll just sort of like let that sort of statement slide, sort of thing. Like in Munin's head, they're thinking like, oh, I don't have to prove myself to you. Like,
She said, and she notices you. She sees your reaction and says, "Tell you what, bookkeeper, are you interested in buying some books? I have some, gold-plated, silver-plated, you name them."
sort of that definitely like piques Munin's interest, and but I want to be able to sort of like see what I'm buying before I actually do that sort of thing.
I have a question that might inform your decision. Have you ever been to this country before?
Yeah, I believe so.
Your character, okay. Then you would know that, like, unlike further west where like there's printing presses and books are very commonplace, there's like maybe 1 or 2 printing presses in this entire country. Books are very rare, written by hand, and they're very valuable. However, they're usually not kept in by like peasant people, so this person clearly stole it from somewhere.
Okay. Would I be able to see whether or not it's written by hand?
She doesn't like present it. She just like says,
right.
"I have books. Do you want to buy?"
Well, I'll sort of keep to my sort of previous decision and say I'll consider buying them if I can look at them first. I'm not going to buy anything without like seeing what I'm, what I'm paying for.
She nods and says, "Smart man. Be here in this village tomorrow at noon, and I'll show you."
Okay. Cool.
The other woman, the witch, who is like holding your hand, now releases your hand and says to you, "Don't necessarily listen to her." At which the other woman like shoots her a glare.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll sort of like smile like in amusement and sort of like just get up and like sort of walk away from the tea.
Anghel and Illona, just out of curiosity, what were you two doing in this time?
Do you want to start?
I guess I was looking at him or something. I do wonder, like, am I trying to like do I have a way of finding out where my sister is? Like Angel's sister?
You can ask around. This woman over here is wearing the uniform of the like soldiers who kidnapped her. But this woman over here is also, you recognize like some of her garb, that she's also like probably not a caramel soldier, more like a Nogi soldier, aka like an auxiliary former raider person.
Okay. But I mean, well, I don't like I guess I'm just watching everything like really closely, but I don't think. Sorry, I'm talking myself about the character in perspective.
No worries.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't think I really approach them because but I'm definitely
Go ahead.
Definitely pay attention to everything that I can, I guess.
Okay. I will. Do you have like the buttons with all the approaches available to you?
No.
Okay, no worries. Then I will roll for you your careful, just to see how much you heard of that conversation. You got a free, so I think you heard like a decent amount from like the conversation that Muninn and the 2 women were having.
Okay.
I will say you definitely think it's weird that like this woman on the right, who, as I mentioned, is like probably like an auxiliary Nogi. Like she's saying, "Oh, I'll be back in this village tomorrow." Why would she be back if she's like going with the army? That's a little bit suspicious to you.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, up to you if you do or say anything.
So, can I like? I mean, it's not exactly do anything, but can I like? Supposedly, like decide to come here tomorrow to check it out or something.
All right. But I will say that the woman mentioned that she'll be back in this village, not like in this tavern. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can make a mental note of that and come back tomorrow. Do like any other player characters do anything at this point?
I thought of something. I would like to make a stunt for myself.
Okay. What's your idea?
I think like once per session. Go.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me. We will write that down. And you can use it as early as today if you'd like.
Yeah, I would like to use that.
Okay. What situation are you escaping?
I think I'm getting a bit panicky because the bandit leader saw me, and I don't want to attract more attention to this. So I just want to like.
Well, I don't think you know he's a bandit leader. You just know he's a guy.
Okay.
Anghel knows he's a bandit leader, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Can I warn her somehow? But I don't know if like.
if you can do whatever you want. Just how you do it if you don't really talk.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm trying to think though. Would I warn her?
I think Illona's person would be like, she has made enough here either how she would escape.
What? Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
I think like Illona's a person, she would like just escape after that as well. It's too risky for her.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now just before you do that, and this is like the final thing I wanted to happen in like our introductory session, is that someone else will walk into the bar. This gentleman, who just like barges in. He's very much not a local. He's not dressed like a local, and he loudly yells out in the local language, "Greetings and salutations," attracting the attention of everyone around him. And you say, "I'm looking for some able-bodied adventurers to help me. You there." And he like walks to Illona and Anghel's table like he doesn't give a damn. And he invites himself to sit down, unless you two decide to do anything. And he says, You, are you ready for an adventure? I'm looking for some very special people. I'm a seeker of knowledge, you see, a writer of many books, an explorer, a cartographer.
I would just ask, like, what's in it for us? What do we gain from it?
Well, money, of course. I know I won't, like, just let you go for free. Everything costs money around here, and I'm well aware.
Okay. I think Illona like nods and considers it a bit.
Muninn, you would also hear this guy like loudly present himself and say, "I'm a seeker of knowledge," etc., etc.
Obviously, that definitely gets Muninn's attention, but I think they won't be abundantly like. They won't wear it on their sleeve, sort of thing. They won't be so like eager to join the adventure that like that it's like that it's obvious to the guy.
Yeah. But I would say that like this loud, boisterous guy definitely like got everyone in the bar's attention. He's very, very out of place. And The bar woman like shakes her head like I'm not going to deal with this. But to anyone that's paying attention, you do see like the bandit leader take notice.
Okay.
Other than that, the guy says, I've heard there are some ruins nearby, ruins from the ancient Rimlen. I'd like some adventurers to go and procure something from them. It will be worth your time, I promise.
Okay.
He says this to Anghel and Illona.
To get inside, like to go inside the ruins.
He heard there are some ruins nearby of the ancient Rimlen, and that there's something that interests him there, and that you should go and find it for him, and he'll pay you for it, basically.
Sounds fishy. But
Yeah.
but like I mean, it's like nearby. It's not like an adventure that we go out into or something. Like we go, I don't know.
If you're, since you're a local, you do know that there are some ruins nearby. You can even see them on the map, on the left side portion of the map. You had no idea that they're Rimlen ruins. You thought they're ruins from, like, the ancient princess of your country, but yeah.
Okay. And I do need money. So I guess I'll nod.
Excellent. What about you, young lady?
I think I like lean forward and look around the bar and be like, can we talk about this somewhere more privately?
No, of course. After you, ladies first.
Where do I go? How does the bar look like?
It's not a big room. You probably don't have anywhere to go other than outside the bar.
I guess I go outside then. Works.
Anghel, Muninn, what do you two do?
Could I sort of follow behind in a way that is like, because obviously if they're going somewhere private, could I sort of follow behind close enough to hear, but not like in sight, I guess?
Yes, but I will require a sneaky roll, and obviously I will roll for you.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
You got a 1, okay. Let me check what's this guy's stats. Okay, I'm going to roll his. Careful to see if he would notice you. He would definitely not. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Illona, would you like me to roll to see if you would notice Muninn, or...
Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Would you like me to roll for you to see if you notice Muninn, or...
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'll just roll manually. +2. Oh, fuck yeah, you definitely notice him with a 5.
Okay. Well, if I have been noticed, would it sort of like bother you if sort of Muninn sort of like came over and like overheard your conversation about the job?
I think I would like wave you forward and be like, yeah, I saw that. Come here.
Okay, cool. All right, in which case I will join you to that.
Is Anghel also joining, or?
Yeah, can I also kind of edge over?
Yeah. So, Illona, you're leading this guy like outside the bar, or like it's a small bar again.
You cut out in the middle of that as well.
I'm sorry. You're leading this guy outside the bar, or it's a small bar?
Yeah, outside the bar. If there's like some alleyway where we're pretty unseen.
Well, again, it's heavy rain outside, but the bar house really has like a sort of porch that you can sit on without like getting rained upon.
That sounds good. Is there like no people around there? They're all inside.
Yeah, they are all inside, and you don't see anyone on like whatchamacallit, on the road either. And I'll change the background sound. I don't have like rain sounds ready, but I do have like other ambience. Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. So you lead this guy outside and say, "Oh, hello," and he notices Muninn finally. He says, "Oh, hello, hello. Are you also interested in this opportunity?"
I just sort of like nod and like just sort of, yeah, I am.
He also nods and says, "You see, my friend, this land was once colonized by the ancient Rimlen. The local people are descendants of the Rimlen themselves, and I'm very, very interested in their artifacts. There are some ruins to the west. I believe that there was once a Rimlen city there, and that there should be a sphere that I would very much like to be acquired, and I'm willing to pay 500 courage for everyone. Each, I should say. Which is a decent sum, but it's not like that much. The courage is like the copper coin, like the least valuable coin.
Okay. What does sort of everyone else think?
I think Illona needs money. She would consider this, definitely.
Yeah, Anghel too. I mean, he already said yes.
Cool. Would I sort of be able to like, as like a fellow sort of like seeker of knowledge, would I be able to be like, oh, that's a good, that's a good amount of like, that's a good payment, but like, would I be able to sort of, are we going to get this? Are we going to be able to sort of, like, learn what we're actually? Sorry, let me try and actually think of a coherent sentence. Would we sort of learn the knowledge that we find there, sort of thing? Like, would we be able to, or is it just the guy who wants to like learn everything and sort of just pay us to just be like bodies, if that makes sense?
Specifically, he's asking you to retrieve one thing, like one object from those ruins. Whatever else you do in the ruins is entirely up to you.
Okay.
Now, Anghel, you know that people don't like generally go to those ruins. They sometimes go if they need building materials, and that's about it. Like to collect from like the old buildings there. Otherwise, you probably don't know too much about them. Just to give you some context.
Okay.
But if you have any questions, you're also free to ask this guy like in character.
Okay. So is it just us? I sort of ask him, who else is sort of on this mission? Is it like, who else have you gathered?
Oh, well, you're the very first people I've asked. It should be simple enough. I mean, it's just a ruin.
Okay.
I'm the court geographer of the Duke of Veneto, you know. So, well, if money doesn't interest you, I can also put in a good word. Above board, Muninn and Illona would know that Veneto is like one of the wealthiest cities in whatchamacallit? It's one of the wealthiest cities in. God, I'm forgetting the term. I'm fucking awful. Of the Vitelli, yeah. Of the West, and it had like some trade connections with this area in the past.
Well, I sort of approve of the extra sort of like the word like being put in for us sort of thing. But could I ask like, like, you know, no one's if no one's sort of been in these ruins, how do we know like could we get sort of a like more people sort of thing to like act as not bodyguards, but you know what I mean, like just extra like crew?
I mean,
like I would ask the guy.
He will say, I mean, it's just an orb, it's just a sphere. Just have to go, pick it up, come back, and that's it. There shouldn't be any danger there.
Okay. Well, in my sort of experience, I know like things don't always go according to plan. So like, what are you gonna? Are you gonna come with this sort of thing?
Oh, no, of course not, no. I'm the court geographer of the Count of Veneto. I have the money, you have the skill and the muscle.
Okay.
Wait, why is he willing, if it's so easy, like, why is he willing to pay 3 people?
Do you ask him that, or? Well, you actually can't ask him that.
Yeah, I can. But I'm just, like, wondering... Okay.
Again, you players can, of course, like discuss amongst yourselves, either out of character or in character. But yeah.
Okay. So what is, I guess, in character, what does everyone think? Like, I sort of like look over to everyone. Like, what do you all think of this?
I think I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
But I'm confident in my ability to, like, if something were to go wrong, I trust that if I could, like, get out of it.
Okay.
I'm also suspicious, but again, I'm kind of desperate for money, and I don't know.
Alright, cool. I sort of like be obviously just to make it a hat trick. I'm suspicious as well, but the promise of like being able to go in there and find things that are valuable, not like to sell but to learn, is like really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I sort of like agree to the job, I suppose.
I will say this guy, like, he offered to pay you in money, but he also mentioned, I'm like the court geographer of the Duke of Veneto, which is again an important place, and he like has offered, if money doesn't interest you, I also have like connections, basically.
Okay. I'd sort of like to take him up on that offer. That's cool.
Great, excellent. What about the rest of you?
I say I keep it low key. No need, though. Like, you don't need to contact about me. But I'll take the money.
He doesn't need to what? Sorry.
Doesn't need to like tell his contacts about.
Right. A mystery, okay. I enjoy mysteries, but very well, I'll respect your privacy. What about you, young man? Looking at Anghel.
What did he ask? Sorry, it cut out for me.
Sorry. So he's saying again, go to the ruins and collect an orb, and he'll pay you either 500, or he also offered, since he's like the court geographer of a very influential city, he also offered like the services of his various connections.
Would that help?
It might. I think it would be very. Actually, funnily enough, I will roll to see if Anghel. Actually, do you think Anghel would like know the geography of the world as a local peasant boy?
No.
Then what this man says is gibberish, but it's fancy gibberish.
Okay.
And
So he's just like.
He looks rich.
Okay. So I guess he, totally is in.
So I'm guessing you like nod to his question?
Yeah.
You say, cat got your tongue, I'm guessing? No worries. Very well. I shall await for you in this fine establishment. Well, after the rain clears up, I suppose.
Cool.
Okay. And I think it's as good a place as any to end our little like tutorial session. What do you all think?
Yeah, that sounds good. That was a lot of fun.
It was.
I'm glad to hear it. So, what are your thoughts on this little like tutorial session, this setup?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was sort of fun and interesting. Like, I personally don't really do a lot of D&D stuff like that. But I have like roleplayed before, like like in WoW, for example. But no, I thought it was a good introduction to the mechanics and stuff.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Again, I hope it like showed in this session that my way of DMing is I will like present storylines, but you are also like free to do whatever you'd like. And if you could have like ignored the man, you could have just like went to a different table. I hope I managed to convey that.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. It was like the stakes were pretty low, so you could like really immerse yourself with it.
Honestly, my favorite moment was the bartender smacking you.
It was awesome.
It was hilarious.
But yeah, I guess we'll see if you obviously decide to follow through on going to the ruins and seeing what's there. You're entirely free to say, and when we start our next session, no, screw that, I want to do something else.
Okay. That sounds good.
But yeah, do you all have any other thoughts before we go into like our shoutouts, our self-promotion bits?
I don't know. I don't think
Thank you. This was great. You're
Happy to hear. Okay. Do you have any preferred order in which like you should promote yourselves, or would you like me to roll some dice?
Again, you guys can go first. I don't mind, like, sort of going last. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Then, well, I thank you, dear viewers, for watching and listening to us. And I'd very much like to ask, I guess, Show and Tell, if you could please, like, talk a little bit about yourself, what you do, etc., etc.
Well, then, like I said, I have a YouTube channel on which I react to shows, anime shows. A lot about anime, but also other shows too. And yeah, I guess that's most of what I do.
Well, she also draws, as you can see, there's a little description on screen. She draws most of her thumbnails, and they're really well done. And she also goes very in-depth on her, like, post-reaction discussions. And she has some very intelligent talks, for lack of a better term. Monologues,
Thank you.
I suppose.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I do try to go in depth after each episode.
Yeah, and she's great at it. Anything else before we move on?
No, this was a lot of fun. Just wanted to say that.
I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Ashen, I suppose. Would you like to go next and talk a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I draw and paint stuff too, and you can find me at Ash Paint Stuff on Instagram. And yeah, if you like art, see me there.
She's great. She's great at it. Again, the portrait of Illona you saw on screen was drawn by her, and yeah, feel free to check her out. I should mention that all our links shall be available in the description below as well as on screen. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. And Deli, could you please talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, my name is Deli, obviously. I'm currently streaming on Twitch. I'm a Goblin VTuber, which is like, it's like I have a 3D model of a goblin to represent me instead of like showing my face, sort of thing. On Twitch, I stream variety, so that just means like I play, like I don't stick to one thing. I play any kind of game, or I do any kind of sort of community events. Especially hopefully in the future with that with the latter, like when sort of more people like would like to sort of join in, I suppose. And yeah, other than that, I sort of post to YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, you can find me on Twitter as well. And yeah.
I will say that I'm definitely not the first person to say this, I imagine, but I absolutely adore your voice.
So good.
That's true.
And I also really like the way I admit I haven't tuned it often just because I have like a very busy schedule, unfortunately. But I really do like the way you engage with like the people in chat, etc. during your streams.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I try my best.
Yeah. And the link that Deli provided is like a master link that if you click it also leads him to all of his stuff. So don't be like discouraged if it's like a more unusual format or anything. Anything else?
No, I believe that's it. Thank you very much for hosting today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for joining us. And I was your dungeon master, Teeironor. When I have the time, which isn't very often at all, I do videos on video game lore and sometimes mixing it with history, which again doesn't happen very often. And I also do this series and another TTRPG sort of series, more focused on the Warcraft universe, which you can also check out. It's also a lot of fun. But other than that, dear viewers, thank you very much for watching and listening to us. We will probably be back the week after this is posted with the next episode, probably on the same day, though we do need to discuss that. I will let you all know. And yeah, goodbye everybody. We will see you then.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.